This conference will now be recorded.
Let me back up.
I am
Recording.
I try to make it look in ocean. But you heard me.
That's not a problem.
Basically, you're not.
Me as well, 800 miles.
Okay.
They look to give horse on the back.
Good, yeah.
Having a request.
Issue our training. Hands on. Yeah.
Playing both. And what he moves.
We got a program as well. Yeah. And you may have both. Vice versa.
One of the things is. Yeah.
What?
Hello, Councilor Corn, you're on the meeting.
Should we mute him?
For the record.
Counselor Corn, the question at the moment is, where do you want to adjust the budget for $330,000 for the training through HR? Do you have a suggestion for that? Because I know you've looked at it.
Necessary training.
Oh,
Let me explain what I know about that. It's a necessary thing because without that money, there will be no safety training. And we've learned through experience last couple of years that we're not doing a sufficient job with our training and documentation for that stuff. And it's getting us in trouble. So we just got to throw it on the, we've already started, we'll figure it all out. Next month.
Dr. Corn, you're cutting out.
He said, oh.
That's what I got.
Thanks, Bill.
well, you want to just put it on the consent agenda, take it out of the general budget?
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay, all right.
I'll move it.
that's what has to happen now. And we'll work on where the money at our quarterly review in November, and then mid-year review that's, we're trying to get put together.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we consider approval of budget adjustment to the human resources safety training budget in the amount of $330,000, 96.47. Citywide departmental training from the general fund on the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Councilor Halverson and a second by Councilor Johnson to put the approval of budget adjustment to the human resource safety and training budget in the amount of $330,096.47 for all citywide departmental training from the general fund on the consent agenda. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed, same sign. Passes 4-0. And what time was it that Councilor Corn came on the call?
2:15.
2:15. Thank you very much. Okay, since we amended the agenda, we don't have 3 anymore. So agenda item 4, consider approval of Roswell Transit to purchase 2 new Marbach Spirit of Freedom 12+2 or whatever that passenger buses from Model 1 commercial vehicle incorporated in the amount of $198,193 each for a total of $396,386. These buses will be purchased with statewide price agreement 00-00000-20-00087 that expires on January 27th of 2025. Ms. Hicks.
Hi.
Hello.
Good afternoon. So we were budgeted for 1 bus this year. DOT recommended that we go ahead and get a second bus so that we can expand our fleet somewhat. we're suffering right now where we don't have enough buses when we get a little bit of a breakdown to cover all of our services. So can you go to the next slide? We had in the budget $131,714, and that was for one of the buses that you see running around right now, the little, we have 6 that are the same body style, they just have different graphics on the side, and that's how much those buses were. So we took what we didn't like about those buses and went ahead and got a quote for a bus that's on a different platform that it has liquid springs that can lower when we go to a bus stop if there's a wheelchair involved, so that when we put the ramp out, it's not so steep getting up in the bus. Right now, the trouble we're having is the wheelchairs, they can't get up the ramp by themselves, and we can barely get them up there by pushing them. So this was an important change to our platform for the buses. So having said that, the NMDOT looked through all of our financial situation that they have for us, and they've been collecting insurance money on our behalf for wrecked buses, property damage, all those types of things, and I have almost $100,000 sitting in an account for us. So they're going to take that money and they're going to apply it, and we won't have to pay anything for these buses. We'll pay the initial $396,386, but they'll reimburse all of it. So instead of reimbursing us the 80%, which is what's normal, they will give us 100% reimbursement. So what you're approving basically is just the purchase as opposed to some extra dollars. It will require a budget adjustment, but that's later in the agenda. Tony added it to the budget adjustment that she has here at the end of the presentation so that we wouldn't have to present more than one to you. Let's stand for any questions.
Councilors, any questions? So we're going to do a budget adjustment for this.
We're going to increase revenues more than we're increasing the expense, though.
I concur, I understand that, but my big question here is, we pay for these, when will we receive those funds back from the state?
It takes about a month, maybe a month and a half.
Okay, that's about a year or 2 years, so.
No.
Okay,
So what I had told, we already took this to infrastructure. What I told infrastructure was, it's all about timing. And I don't know when the buses will come, but what we will do is we'll make sure that we don't pay in one fiscal year and get reimbursed in a different fiscal year. We'll make sure that it's coordinated so that it all happens even if it's next fiscal year, it all happens in the same fiscal year, and preferably in the same quarter, so that we don't end up with a negative cash balance that she has to try to cover for DFA reporting. Right? Yes.
okay. Counselor Corn, are you still on the phone? Oh, like he's left the meeting. Counselor Intima, do you have any? Okay. Yes,
Yep,
any questions? No, it's all good.
I think we're fine.
All right. Any other questions?
I have none.
Anybody have a motion for this?
What is the dollar amount again that we're approving? I mean, that's-
$396,386.
You're on, turn the page.
Pretty much right in the middle of your front page if you.
That was 3 that we skipped. That's what we're on there.
Page 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we consider approval for Roswell Transit to purchase 2 new ARBOC Spirit of Freedom 12 plus 2 passenger buses from Model 1 commercial vehicles, incorporated in the amount of $198,193 each, for a total of $396,386. These buses will be purchased with statewide price agreement 00000020000087 that expires 1/27/25.
Second.
Is that on the consent agenda?
Yes, on the consent. agenda.
On the consent.
Very
you.
good.
Okay, we have a motion by Counselor Halverson and a second by Counselor Johnson for agenda item 4 to move to the consent agenda for approval of Roswell Transit to purchase new Arbach Spirit of Freedom 12x2s passenger buses from Model 1 Commercial Vehicles Incorporated in the amount of $396,386.00. These buses will be purchased with statewide price agreement 00-0000-20-0087. It expires on January 27, 2025. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Oh,
I'll be darned.
he's there. Passes 4-0.
Thought I saw him.
I'm approving it.
You're not, you don't want to approve it?
I'm for approval.
He is approving it.
Right. 4-0
Yes, sir.
approval. Okay. Thank you, Counselor. Okay, agenda item 5, consider recommendation of award of ITB-25-002 West Country Club Reservoirs Repair Project to TMI Coatings in amount of $3,744,739.53, including GRT included in fiscal year 25 approved budget. Letter written, Mr. Nahar.
Yes, committee. What we have here is the results from ITB-25-002, which are very favorable to the city of Roswell. As you look at the bids from the 3 vendors, they were pretty well across the board, high and low. I have checked with TMI, as I reported infrastructure. They have a lot of experience. I've had more conversations with them since infrastructure. They have 37 years of experience. They're doing 5 tanks for the city of El Paso right now. The reason they bid ours is because they're looking for winter work, being from St. Paul, Minnesota. A little bit warmer over here during the winter and spring. And they're very comfortable with their bid and they're ready to go to work. I will say, as I stated at the infrastructure, there will still be one more PO associated with this. There'll be the third-party testing by $500,000 because you have to have OSHA qualified and safety coding qualified inspectors to get on the scaffolding and check all that kind of stuff, which my guys are not. And that's going to be about $500,000. And I stand for any other questions.
Counselors, any questions?
Is that 500,000 going to be on top of the 3.7 million?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we need to include that in this or?
No, it'll be a separate PO.
Okay.
We'll be able to use this funding for it, though,
Absolutely.
which is great. So
Still within the funding allowed. Yeah.
Counselor Corn, any questions?
No questions, Mr. Chairman. I would just point out that this is an important issue. I think it's important to not put on the consent agenda if you get to that point.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or discussion from the audience?
I'll be glad to make a presentation again at council.
Well, this is a good presentation, so this is really a big deal for the city of Edwardsport. What are we saving, around 4 million after the 500,000?
So
So
we're still saying about 3.5.
And Vice Chair, I tend to understand that when you have 37 years of experience, your efficiency gets better and you can get better quotes.
oh yeah, well, and they
Okay.
like being in warmer weather to do this type of stuff, so it's a good deal for us.
Vice Chairman, I'd like to make a motion
Counselor?
to recommend the award of ITB 25-002 West Country Club Reservoirs Repair Project to consider TMI coatings in amount of $3,744,739.53. That includes GRT for FY 25 approved budget for the consent agenda.
No, he didn't want it on consent.
Well, he recommended not to put on the consent so that we can actually talk about it
Oh,
and let the public.
not to be put on the consent agenda for,
Well, city council.
Chairman Corn.
Second.
So I got a motion by Counselor Johnson and a second by Counselor Halverson. For agenda item 5, recommendation of award of ITB-25-002 West Country Club Reservoirs Repair Project to TMI Coatings in the amount of $3,744,739.53, including GRP, included in the fiscal year 25 approved budget. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously 4-0. Agenda item 6, consider recommendation of approval for PO requesting the purchase of a new Parks Department zero-turn mower from Simpson Norton Corp. in the amount of, $69,440,000. Okay, let's start that figure over. $69,440.41 included in fiscal year 25 approved budget. Jim Burris, tell us about it.
Vice Chair, Councilors, thank you. We'd like to have you consider the recommendation of approval of appeal requesting the purchase of a new Parks Department mower for $69,440.41 to be put on the consent agenda.
Councilors, any questions or discussion on this one? As Chairman Court would say, what's your pleasure?
We make a motion?
Please.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to consider recommendation of approval for PO requesting the purchase of a new Parks Department zero-turn mower from Simpson Norton Corporation in the amount of $69,440.41, included in fiscal year approved budget on the consent agenda.
Second that.
Got a motion by Counselor Halverson, a second by Counselor Johnson. Agenda item 6 to put on the consent agenda, recommendation of approval for PO requesting the purchase of a new Parks Department zero-turn mower from Simpson Norton Corp. in the amount of $69,440.41, included in fiscal year 25 approved budget. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes 4-0. Okay, agenda item 7, consider recommendation of approval of PO requesting the purchase of a new,
That's the number there. It didn't get changed.
okay. Okay, let's start this over. Consider recommendation of approval of PO requesting the purchase of a new golf course rough mower from Simpson Norton Corp. in the amount of $104,444.42, which is a savings from what is on the agenda at $106,000.
Can you repeat that amount, please?
It's up there.
Oh,
It's on your page 25.
I see. Okay.
42.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Counselors, any questions, discussion on this jet rougher? Any questions, Counselor Corn, Chairman? Don't hear him, so I'll entertain a motion.
Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution of 24-XX approving,
Go to number 7.
oh, yes, I'm at number 7. Train wreck. Vice Chair, let me try this again.
Please do.
Let me recommend the approval of the PO requesting the purchase of the new golf course rough mower for Simpson Norton Corporation in the amount of $104,444.42 for the FY22 approved budget.
Ask a question.
That's,
Yeah.
you want to ask it now or you want to ask it after? you
Yeah,
second?
no, I'm curious what the lifespan of these are because they cost a fortune more than a truck.
The ones that we're repairing now are about 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go. There's 12 years of,
And we hope it's a lot less than that.
Hope to get a decade out.
you hope it's a
Yeah.
lot more,
No.
lasts a lot longer.
Yeah, oh, it lasts a lot longer.
I knew that's what you did.
That's what I meant, yeah.
But these are essential to the,
Oh, I know that. It's just,
I got 2 minutes. Are you guaranteeing me 1 or 2 points off with these mowers?
You said your ball line.
Okay, yeah. 'Cause I'm averaging about $10,000 per one stroke of my handicap, so this is a steal.
Okay, stay in the fairway.
when you lose a ball, it's a penalty stroke, right? So.
Yeah.
That's right. Plus the ball, they're expensive.
Plus.
So I have a motion by Counselor Johnson. Do I have a second?
second.
Okay. A motion from Counselor Johnson. You want this on the consent?
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
I have a motion by Counselor Johnson and a second by Counselor Halverson for agenda item 7, which is put on the consent agenda recommendation of approval of the PO requesting the purchase of a new golf course rough mower from Simpson Norton Corporation in the amount of $104,444.42, included in the fiscal year 25 approved budget. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously 4-0. All right, agenda item 8, resolution 24XX to consider approval of resolution 24XX approving budget adjustment for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Ms. Gomez.
Agenda number 8 is to consider approval resolution 24XX approving budget adjustment for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. The finance department is requesting a budget adjustment for line items in Exhibit A. These adjustments are for various grants and other departments. The amount of revenues is $376,014.80. Expenses is $679,768.47. And the line items are attached in Exhibit A for your review, and staff recommends approval. I stand for any questions.
Councilors, any questions? Any discussion? Got anything out there, Chairman Corn?
Nope, I'm good.
No discussion?
All right.
I got a motion from anybody?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion for resolution 24XX, consider approval of resolution 24XX approving the budget adjustment for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025 to the consent agenda.
And I second that.
Okay, I have a motion by Counselor Halverson, a second by Counselor Johnson on agenda item 8 to put resolution 24XX, to consider putting on the consent agenda approval of resolution 24XX approving budget adjustment for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those, any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously 4-0. All right, this one we added on from legal. So this is agenda item 9, which is ordinance 24XX to consider recommendation to authorize to advertise for a public hearing to consider adopting proposed ordinance 24XX, amending the dedication of municipal local option grocery receipts tax. The mayor pro tem is not here, so I'm going to ask the council to stand in and explain what this is.
Happily, Mr. Chair. Last year, the city, or a year and a half now, the city adopted a public safety tax to allow for ambulance service. And at the time, it was supposed to create ambulance service, a reserve fund, and allow for salaries and equipment to be paid for to public safety. Then Councillor Janine Corn-Best, for some reason, thought it prudent to not allow tax dollars to go to public safety salaries. Councillor Hildebrand and a number of other councillors think differently, and that was ill-advised. So this ordinance more or less goes back to the initial dedication that was presupposed. The core difference here is that it creates a sinking fund of $3 million to cover any potential capital expenditures should the city need to stand up an ambulance service. That's roughly what we estimate it would cost to buy all the ambulances and equipment we don't presently own. And so once that fund is there, the rest of the money can be used for public safety purposes.
All right. So let me just ask a question before we get into discussion. Is this an item, since it's going to be on the agenda to go out for advertisement for the December meeting? Is this something that we can put on the consent agenda?
Yeah, the advertising can go on consent.
Okay, all right. Counselor,
Oh, you can. Okay.
any questions?
I did have a question. I talked to you about it already. I'd like to see where our animal control officers.
So the two guys who are on the street and carry arms would fall under the public safety measure. It's harder to justify it for those who
Yeah,
are.
I understand. As long as the officers are covered. Okay.
Yeah, I guess kind of part of the way to look at it is if they have the ability to cite people and go into court based on a public safety ordinance, then they probably fit the bill.
Yeah, because our job it is public safety. Yeah.
Counselor Corn, any questions?
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay. Counselors, what's your pleasure on this?
Co-chairman, I'd like to make a recommendation to authorize to advertise for a public hearing to consider the adoption of the proposed ordinance 24XX, amending the dedication of the municipal local option gross receipts tax.
Second.
Let's put this on the consent agenda.
Second.
Got a motion by Counselor Johnson and a second by Counselor Halverson for agenda item 9 to put on the consent agenda. Recommendation to authorize to advertise for a public hearing to consider adopting proposed ordinance 24XX, amending the dedication of a municipal local option gross receipts tax. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes 4-0. Thank you. All right, approval of minutes. Any changes? Anybody want to do anything there on the minutes?
I didn't see any.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to consider approval of September 5th, 2024 regular finance committee meeting minutes. That doesn't even have it.
You have a second there?
Second.
Okay. Got a motion by Counselor Howerson, a second by Counselor Johnson to approve the minutes from the September 5th, 2024 finance meeting. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Passes 4-0. All right, non-action items. Discussion.
I've got to sign off. I've got another meeting.
Okay, thank you for joining us, Chairman. You guys be safe out there.
It's been an exciting morning already, and there were plenty of other things that's going to come to fruit this afternoon. So thank you for allowing me to join and working hard to get the summer races on schedule and make sure it happens. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good stuff, thank you.
Can't wait for
Make a
details.
note that the chairman left the meeting at 2:43:43. All right, safe streets for all implementation. That's you?
Yes, sir.
James, thank you.
Mr. Vice Chairman, committee members. If you remember back in May, council voted to postpone an implementation grant application for the Safe Streets for All program until you get some more details on the state matching grant program. The state has released those details. So in your packet, on page 57, the top half of that page is some basic information about the federal Safe Streets for All grant program. Basically, just a quick recap, it's a program to give us funding to address traffic safety issues. The bottom portion of that page, so I'd like to go through in some detail. I put this together based on the state grant requirements plus the federal grant requirements. So this is a draft timeline, what it would look like for us if we were to pursue a program with matching funds. So for us, the first step would be we would apply to the state of New Mexico for the matching fund program. For that application, we would just have to provide a formal commitment that we intend to pursue Safe Streets for All federal program with the requested match amount. The state would then issue us a contingent award letter. They say within 20 business days of the receipt of our application. We would then apply to the FHWA, the Safe Streets for All Implementation Grant Program. For their website, the 2025 notice of funding is to be released before March 30th, 2025. The previous funding cycle in 2024, the application deadline was May 16th. So assuming they follow the same timelines, we would have April and May of 2025 to make our application to FHWA. FHWA award announcements would be in the fall of 2025. For the current cycle, 2024 awards were announced September 5th, 2024. The city at that point would then notify DFA of either our award or denial of our federal grant. We would then receive our funding agreement from DFA to cover the 20% match. We would then receive our funding agreement from FHWA. Again, going off timelines from the previous cycle in 2024, those agreements are required within 12 months. So possibly we wouldn't get our federal funding agreement from FHWA until the fall of 2026. For the state matching fund questions, the matching fund would be dispersed. So that's not a reimbursement program from the state, it's a disbursement program. The federal FHWA portion would be a reimbursement. And again, for the 2024 cycle, the period of performance for project completion can be up to 5 years. So potentially we look at fall of 2026 to fall of 2031 to design and construct those improvements. The other pages in your packet, starting on page 58, is the matching fund FAQs from the State Department of Finance. And on page 62 is the recommended projects that came from the Safe Streets for All steering committee. Stanford, any questions?
Councilors, any questions for James?
So with the state match, does that mean the city's not out of the money?
Correct.
Yeah.
So this would potentially be a path toward the 100% funding with the master plan.
That's good. Just, so you know, I was on that committee and we did a lot of planning. It was hard to come up with the projects.
And those projects could be a la carte. You just pick one if you want to start out with.
Anything else? Anything?
Nothing here.
James, thank you for the information. It would be nice if we could do this stuff at no cost. So appreciate the work you've done on that.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Like no cost.
I know.
Yeah, we like free.
Well, it's been eye-opening on that committee because that company, they showed us so many problems we have here.
Miss Elizabeth, are you ready?
That would be Miss Tony, so she will take over.
Oh, well, okay.
So this is gross receipts information. We received September's gross receipts in and the amount of 4,529,227. Budget amount was 4,240,667 with a variance of 288,559. And here is the breakdown of how it is allocated between each of the funds. And there is your trending graph on there. The next information report is cannabis. We received 25,544. Budget amount was 25,763. So I don't think that variance is correct. So we are down. We are down on that.
We're making a lot of money on this cannabis sale, right?
Oh, yeah.
Safe to say.
You guys got to do your part.
Wave, bulldog.
Afternoon, Vice Chair and committee members. I'm here to present to you the lodging tax update for July 2024's activity collected in August of 24. All hotels did report on time. Our star data occupancy was at 71.2%, and ADR had a 16.1% increase year over year. We had a $159,992 collected in our lodgers tax. And for our convention center bed fee, we had 70,807. And I stand for any questions.
So I ask this every time, but the VBR or VRBOs and the
Making some progress.
making some progress.
CJ found support in there that was balanced on the scenes. I only question the accuracy of some of the addresses that it has, because it has the Holiday Inn up north, this is at 3616, but they're 3620. So we need to do some more deep diving in there, but there's some demand layers that we can generate through there, which I actually need to sit down, but that's.
I'm the hell out of it.
Yeah. Let's go way back a few years.
All right, thank you.
It's yours on time.
Thank you.
Does that include the convention bed?
Yes.
Bed fees, okay. Public library. You were, any questions for the library? All right. Tim, you're on the tee box. Wide open spaces, bro.
Just another busy one. We didn't really have any tournaments or anything. All of our tournaments are geared for October, November, when it's cooled down quite a bit. We still did really well, gross revenue. Lots of public play. We did host some juniors with the First Tee program. We joined up with them. We had about 25 kids maybe. This Sunday, we contacted me. They did a ball piece, something brand new. They got a lot of good feedback this summer, so they chose Spring River as one of the 4 hosting courses. We actually hosted Sunday. We have about 32 kids.
It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Doing good stuff over there, Tim. Thank you. Any questions for Tim?
You know, we did have damage on one of the greens, and they have some cameras. They're wireless with a little solar panel on them. We could put them at the greens. It could possibly help us later on, and this is just something we could look at maybe later.
Get some of those hunting cameras and just strap them on the tree.
Well, you know, it's sometimes, you know, and people are generally real good with the carts, but sometimes they damage them. And they try to, you know, it's on them when they damage it, when they do something stupid. It's like a car, you know, and you sign that when you
run into a stump.
You run into a railroad tie, a stump. You pull up to the water and you actually maybe drive it off into the water. Who knows what the deal is, but sometimes cameras will help us in some of our civil suits in the event we need to put some out there. And also, if somebody's you guys work real hard on those greens, man, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, our aeration went really, really well. Probably.
Oh, that aeration was amazing. And it was actually, it moved out within 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
perfect.
probably one of the sweetest aerations I've been a part of.
Yeah, but for somebody to go out there and write their name in it, carve their name in the green, we'd like to hold people accountable for that and prosecute to the fullest extent. And maybe look at cameras, maybe get a quote on them or something. I don't know. It's an option.
Work on some options, Jim.
Work on some options and James, you've probably been thinking about this already, right?
Right, yeah, they do have solar panel cameras. We talked to the IT, but to throw it out there, what's the replacement cost of the green?
Well, if you have to replace a whole green, you're looking at $250,000, $300,000.
I was gonna say at minimum.
Minimum.
If the drainage is good, that's just the dirt on top. Right.
And this could just be some kids out there that's acting stupid and, you know, once somebody's barbecued, you know,
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah. So, yeah, so we're looking into it. Just talked to IT yesterday, day before, about some wireless.
Yeah, and see, we always have to think, because the thing, sometimes your cameras get stolen, you know, and that's, but you can put them up high enough where you can film them trying to go up there and steal it and then get them twofold on two different things. Just saying, I just think it's a great, something you gotta think about, so. That's all I had.
Sure. Thank you, Councilor Johnson. Anybody else on the golf course?
Yeah, we got a lead on that because it says Bill Williams was here carved in. So we got a couple.
We got a lead.
Here's them report. Not in your,
I like that.
in your report.
It's Museum Day Roswell took place in September, their second annual event. And we collaborated with all 7 museums in the community. I thought it was really successful. We had over 200 of which went to all 7 museums in one day.
Wow.
A lot of fun there. We're also, the week of Saturday is our 5th annual Roswell Science and Art Festival, which is being held at the Convention Center. A lot of effort put into that event. We have about 25 different partnering groups that range from high schools, colleges, nonprofits, businesses, city departments, and state agencies that are participating. So it's a lot of people come together. About 300 people help put on the event. So it should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to that. Last year, we held it during the eclipse, just happened to be the dates fell into place. So we had 3,000 people visit during that event. This year's probably getting back to normal, 1,200, 1,500 people that come. But invite everyone to come and see it. I have some flyers for families and groups. And then also just to highlight, we received $250,000 in award from the for federal appropriation for our digitization of part of our archive. So it was kind of unexpected, but Senator Heinrich's office promoted that whole project, and it got pushed forth before the federal budget process, and we were awarded $250,000. So it's great. It's going to be a 2-year project, and it is already in the budget because we were anticipating the award just until a couple weeks ago. We'll be working with archivists to come in and to facilitate the process. And they'll be concentrating on 3 of our collections. One is the Goddard collection. We have films, photographs, other archival materials that are really important for Robert H. Goddard's projects here in Roswell. And then we were founded as a WPA Federal Arts Center, so it'll concentrate those early documents, as well as some of our early institutional history at the city museum. So we're looking forward to that. And it's, the idea is to make it, to digitize it, to organize it, and make it accessible. So it'll be going through databases nationally for researchers, students, other people looking to study that material to access the facility.
Exciting things at the museum.
I do want to say they commend you on the museum day. It was wonderful. There's a video online too, if you guys want to watch how that went. It went really, really well. And if you guys haven't been in the museum, the new floors just look amazing.
I will be there.
Don't have city council meetings.
I know, huh?
Public affairs. Visitor center, public affairs.
The Public Affairs Department report stands as presented, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions? Are you in charge of the visitor center also? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's for today, yes. They're pretty good. They had 1,800 guests in August and made about $8,187 in August as well too for the visitors.
All right, awesome. Any questions? Okay, we are, Rita, you have 30 seconds and we can finish this meeting in an hour. Public comment. Go ahead.
The Chicago Bears, not the Chicago Cubs. I have one question. Lois, you gonna close West Country Club when you work on the tank?
No.
Thank you. Everybody knows we have the Chili Cheese Festival this weekend.
Yes.
For Swan. And the city provided us the health department, the street department, the visitor center, the water department, and I have confirmation that we didn't have to pay tipping fees at sanitation. The county provided the lawn, the electricity. We want to thank the Assistings Youth Challenge, the courts, Farmers Market, Main Street provided the insurance for us. Juliana Halverson, Counselor Halverson was there for about 16 hours. Peggy Sesky was there for about 16 hours. So we thank all of you for helping and those that, what?
Pioneer Bank volunteers.
That's right, and the assistings. I'm sorry, I forgot Pioneer Bank. But and we made some money. And everybody enjoyed it. We did have one incident, but I took care of it. Anyway, thank you all for those people that showed up and had a good time.
So to your question about Country Club being closed when they do a lot of things, Lois said told you it would be closed.
Yeah.
But
I
understand that. There's always a possibility that it will be closed for a short period of time. There's no guarantees on that one. But we don't think that's gonna happen, but if it is closed, don't be upset.
Better than yours.
I understand. Bruce.
Thank you. Councilor Halverson, thank you very much. And for the record, Councilor Hess. So all of the eligible officers that are sworn in, badge, ticket books, they are covered under the appellate section. Oh, thank you. The second thing is, there's a lot of talk about commissioning a study for water and wastewater. Great. But I would really like to see sanitation in there as well. Do it all at once, everything once done, complete.
Not a bad idea.
I have not heard on any of the forums anyone adding sanitation in there. Since it's all part of the same package, I would really like to see everything done at once.
Not a bad idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the room? Public comment? Anybody online? Come on. Going once, going twice. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the finance meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for being here.
Good job, Vice Chair.
Thank you for all.